Hello and welcome to the Peak Millennials podcast. I'm your host, Collins, and this is your host, Natalie. Each week we are deep diving into different peak millennial topics, things we remember, things we want to forget, and read some juicy stories that'll give us all deja vu. This is the age before iPhones and social media as we know it. This is where a good mix CD, silver eyeshadow, and MTV raised us. So crack open a Jones soda, kick off your black Converse, and let's deep dive into the world turn of the millennium. This is the Peak Millennials podcast, and your show starts now.
Hello.
Hello. Was that good? Did I do it?
I kind of like that. That was
Okay.
fun. That was kind of a fun start. It was, I was never a Jones Soda girl.
What?
Really honest. No, not at all.
Okay, so I know that we're listing up different episodes, and by the way, hi, this is the Peak Millennials podcast.
Hello.
I'm Auntie Collins.
I'm Natalie.
It's Natalie. We're back. We are back in action. Thank you so much for all the positive feedback that y'all gave for our first episode. I know it was a little bit weaky wobbly, unsure, because I was unsure. But I think that we did a great job, and we're back again for our second week. So we got a lot of really good feedback. By the way, we have an email address. If you want to
we have an email.
Wait, we just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who is from. But you can share your Peak Millennial stories. It's just at peakmillennialspod@gmail.com. Again, peakmillennialspod@gmail.com. We'll remind you at the end. It'll be in our show notes. There will be lots of cool things in our show notes. We'll also have a playlist for today because this week's theme is what?
Music. Millennial music.
And honestly, I feel like we could go for 5 or 10 different episodes in the specific genres, but I really just want to cover the multitude of what peak millennial music is, because honestly, there are so many Gen Z folks trying to channel our energy, and we got to live through it.
I collected a bunch of songs that we'll cover later, and I was just it sent me down just a full path of nostalgia, because I remember just the phases of the way that we used to consume media. Specifically, we would listen to the radio, then we had CDs. I mean, we'll put in cassette tapes in there too, but we mostly listened to the radio, then we were listening to CDs, and then the introduction of MP3 players and iPods, and then Zunes.
Wait, well, Zune, or did you have an iPod?
I had an iPod. We were an iPod family.
Same.
So I can't really speak to it.
Over there. So
mine is in my memory box. It was actually my second one, because I originally had the OG, and then I got the one with the screen. Yeah. So I got two, which I was very lucky.
Do you know that they're using those as hair clips now?
Oh, I didn't have that one. The clip one? No,
yeah,
I had
the clip one.
Original.
I had the original too.
The scroll. It was the colored one. I think mine was green, but it had the itty bitty screen, and then I had the bigger one where you could take photos on it or whatever. Anyways, we could talk. Music is something that I know that we could talk about for hours.
Absolutely.
So I think that's something that we always really connected with together is music. So yeah.
Were you a lyrics person? Did you write lyrics on everything, or your Converse, or your school books?
You know, not really. I always like
So
I didn't.
No, I
I
didn't.
definitely no. I was definitely more artsy in the fact that like I would try to recreate I would try to recreate the art that was on the inside of CDs, like in the booklet of like
Ooh,
CD.
yeah.
So just as like a tidbit, I fell into like a love of Dave Grohl. Like as a
From
teen
the Foo
girl figuring
Fighters?
from the Foo Fighters,
Okay.
I absolutely was a little bit obsessed with Dave Grohl for a little bit. And I remember it was during like
That's so niche. I love it.
I loved Dave Grohl. Like I don't have to get into it, but I remember that we had a assignment at school where it was like draw a we had to draw a face. We had to like draw a portrait of someone, and they're like, you can
Mhm.
pick whoever you want. And I spent hours looking at this photo of Dave Grohl and like drawing out this thing. And I wish that I still had it. And I imagine that at some point I just like got rid of it or it got lost, or my mom probably has it somewhere at their house. But I spent hours drawing and shading Dave Grohl's face. Why?
The world may
But
never know.
enough about me. Who I guess we could talk a little bit more about like what makes millennial music, but I had to share a little juicy fact about someone that I loved very much.
I don't know what you're talking about at
I'd love
all.
to hear about yours.
I don't know who you're talking about. Okay, I shamed myself into this size medium shirt, which if you are listening audio, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to catch it on the video side. But do you see who this is?
A little old Clay Aiken.
If I was invisible and I could just watch you in your room.
Can I tell you though? Like we'll get into this a little bit more. But like one, I also loved Clay Aiken. And two, I loved Lance Bass.
Okay.
So
why did we always like
the gay ones?
Literally, Lance Bass, David Archuleta, like
so beautiful.
Clay Aiken,
so beautiful.
Adam Lambert.
I think it's because they were so beautiful. Their skin was always so beautiful.
Yeah.
Their face was so beautiful. Ugh. Yeah.
I was obsessed with every member that came out of some sort of band, and they always ended up being the gay one. And you know what? That says so much about as a person now. But yes, I loved Clay Aiken. I didn't even put in the show notes, by the way, about the obsession with competition music shows, because there was something that came out in the American Idol was.
Oh, yep.
Was a British, spinoff of their Pop Idol. And it was like the moment that came out was the early 2000s, and everything else that concluded from it, every other show that came out was just a snowball effect, because it made some really great stars, including Clay Aiken. Clay Aiken, my 9th grade. I still list that as one of the worst days of my life, was the day after Clay Aiken lost. And if you don't know anything, American Idol, you would call in, you would vote for your favorite contestant, and then the next day they would say who the winners were. Season 2 of American Idol, it was Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken. And I remember that like a historic number of people called in, so much that the phone lines crashed.
Yep.
And now we have shows like Love Island, where you vote things on an app and like apps can crash, but literal phone lines were down, and they're like in rural areas all across, because people were trying to vote so much. And unfortunately, Clay Aiken did lose by a small margin. They said it was like only a couple thousand people, which is like some small cities, you know? But Clay Aiken lost, and I have to tell you,
Washington.
Yeah, it was literally the size of Paulsville, Washington. But my locker was this was like one of my first experiences of decorating a locker, is that because there were no pictures of Clay Aiken yet in the magazines, I had to print off pictures off of our laser printer that took forever to
Yep.
And my dad was pissed because I'm always using up all the color,
all the ink and the toner, like, the ink and the toner. You don't understand. It's so expensive.
And I go, I have to put my collages together. And my collage went all the way to the front of my locker.
I love it.
And it was like, I heart Clay. And it was a picture of Clay. The next day when he lost, some idiot went to my locker and they scratched it out. They put like a dick on his face.
Oh no.
They put loser. So I came to school like all like so sad. No. And then I look up and someone had wrote loser and put like a dick on his face. And I'm like, who did this? Who did this? And like everyone's laughing.
I'm not laughing at you.
And so I remember like taking the picture down and like going to my homeroom, and I showed my homeroom teacher, and they were like, it's okay, it's just a show, you know.
It's not just a show.
I know. I was like, I wanted him to be on the Kelly Clarkson like trajectory. Kelly Clarkson had a video, and then she like made a movie, and like that's what I wanted to see for Clay Aiken. He's the best ever. And you know what? Clay Aiken did so much.
Right.
But I just remember that part, and everybody at school was just laughing, and they're like, are you sad because Clay Aiken lost? And I'm like, shut up. But I got this shirt by going to the American Idol show at the Key Arena. And it was a concert circuit where all of the top 12 or top 14 or whatever went on tour, and they sang their like most popular songs that they sang on the show, and they did ensemble numbers, and it was a great time. And I took my sign that says Aiken for Clay. And I remember my mom bought this shirt for me, and that was a really big deal. Again, size medium, because I'm 13 years old. And
you know, I love that. I love that Aiken for Clay.
Aiken for Clay. And so he came back a year later on tour with Kelly Clarkson, in which I won tickets from Kiss 106.1, and I got to go backstage.
Did you get to shake his hand?
So here's what happened. I drew him a picture because, again, I'm a picture drawer.
Yes.
And I go to hand it to him. Like, I'm in this long line of like meet and greets. Had never been in a meet and greet before. And like back then, there's no cell phones really to like take pictures of. So you had to pay money to get like a picture printed.
Oh, but yes. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it,
yeah.
And it has like a banner that says like Clay Aiken and Kelly, you know, Idols tour or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I posed for the picture, and I gave him my picture, and he goes, oh, this is beautiful. And he goes to sign like one of those, like, you know, 8x10s. And he goes, who do I make it out to? And I just, and I couldn't speak. My mom's like,
oh.
And he was like looking at my mom, looking at me, because I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak.
I have this conversation more often than I want to admit, like, because Brian and I go, or my husband and I go to like a lot of K-pop concerts, right? And so I always have that like crazy, and I mean, I'm not sitting
If I
anywhere
go back,
close.
yeah.
Yeah, what if
What if I go
what if I got
backstage?
selected for the backstage? Like a crazy person. I was
Yeah,
like, I didn't even I'm like I would I'm like I would sign the NDA for one.
yeah.
But two, like I would probably be such a mess and be like, uh,
That
uh,
was me. And I talk so much, and then I'm there, and he's in front of me, and I'm just
huh, huh.
so I'm like to cry and whatever, and then he just like signs it, and I have the 8x10. I have an entire folder in my storage of just all my Clay and stuff. So I have every album that he has. I
Mm-hmm.
never got rid of those CDs, all of my drawings, all my pictures, except the drawing.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Oh no, I'm here. It's fine.
Okay, there you are.
It happens
Okay.
sometimes on my internet. But I VHS'd a lot of his
A lot of his performances.
episodes. Yeah, all of them. When he was on Good Morning America, like all of it. I was
The
just
love.
obsessed.
You were
Um I
aching
was
for
aching for
Clay.
Clay. And they
That's
call
so cute though. I love it.
Clay Aiken fans are Claymates. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, they're called Claymates.
Okay.
I had a card in my wallet for a very long time.
You were part of the fan club? How cute. I love that. I love
But
that so much.
this is like the peak like millennial like experience, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I looked on Google and I was like, okay, what is peak millennial music? What is millennial music? Because that seems to be trending right now with
Yeah.
those Gen Zers. But this is what Google said. So millennial music isn't a single genre, but it refers to popular music experienced by the millennial generation from 1980 to 1995 during their youth and early adulthood. It encompasses a vast range of styles, including late 90s pop through early 2000s alternative and hip hop and the EDM boom of the early 2010s. And the indie folk sounds often called millennial core. Notable artists and trends associated with millennial music include Britney Spears, Eminem, Linkin Park, the rise of boy and girl bands, and the widespread use of the millennial whoop in music,
Whoop.
which, right, the whoop, whoop. Uh, but I loved pink bubblegum pop, the safe music. I even loved like 90s country and early 2000s country with Shania Twain and Faith
Yes.
Hill and the Dixie Chicks. But I
Little
very
Rascal
much,
Flats.
oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure I put God Bless the Broken Road lyrics all over my 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 senior yearbook because that was me. I was a lyrics person. I needed to study the lyrics. I wanted to memorize everything. I also really got into like Usher, Neo,
Issue.
50 Cent. I loved Michael Jackson. But Natalie, what would have been your top artists during your peak millennial times?
So I went through kind of a shift. So I started more like you, and I loved some I called it more like girly pop. So I was really
Ooh.
into like NSYNC. I was never a Backstreet Boys kind of girl. I loved NSYNC uh because I loved Lance Bass.
Yeah,
But I
same.
also I liked Britney Spears stuff, but I
Hmm.
was always more drawn to like alt rock, rap. So like even in the early 2000s, like I loved um Outcast,
Oh,
Twista.
oh yeah.
I also really loved Neo. Um, but I went more as we got more in the early mid 2000s.
Mhm.
I fell into more of the emo alt scene. So I remember in 10th grade, was it 10th? It was either ninth grade or 10th grade. There was a girl in my homeroom, and she was given by her boyfriend, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I had a boyfriend that would give me a CD." But he had given her the Postal Service album, and I it has always stuck with me for forever. And so that was always that even to this day, it's like one of my comfort albums. Like I could listen
Mhm.
to it and fall asleep. I love Ben Gibbard, and I am so jealous that you got to see him. Um,
Yeah,
but
he was so close to me, yet
yes,
so
so
far.
so close but so far. So I really fell into that like emo alt side. So I listened to a lot of Postal Service. Taking Back Sunday was a big one. I love Panic at the Disco. Um, I could also listen to I could listen to Panic at the Disco all the time. Who else did I really love? Paramore. I loved
Oh
I
my god.
I love
Yes.
Paramore. And not in the same area, but kind of in the same spaces. Linkin Park. I loved Linkin Park. I had an MP3 player before we got an iPod. I had an MP3 player, and it had
Mhm.
only one album on it.
Because they
And
could really only hold so
it
much.
could only hold so much. And so I listened to this specific Linkin Park album all the way from here to Sacramento, California, just on a continual loop of this one Linkin Park album. And I was like, I don't need any more music. This is the only
Yeah,
one
this is it. Mhm.
that was really my thing, is like I loved that rock era, and that like I guess then now it's called new metal, because it wasn't super hard rock, but it wasn't like emo, and I hadn't really even discovered like what emo music was,
Yeah.
because it was still fairly underground at that time. But I was definitely more on which is so funny because it's two very distinctively different. Like I loved rap music, and I also loved rock music. But I
I
also am like the
I
most
felt that.
hyper
Yeah.
feminine, like girly
Mhm.
girl. And I would just be like driving, and I had a Saturn, like a two-door Saturn coupe, and I'm
Yeah.
like bumping music in it. And I was like, oh, this is something. But anyways, yeah, that was my vibe.
So now that you mentioned new metal, so I have to tell you. I mean, I grew up with brothers, so like
Yeah.
they loved a lot of the alternative, the hard rock,
Mm.
the new metal. Um, you mentioned Linkin Park,
Yes.
and I listened to Limp Bizkit.
I love Fred Durst.
I
Oh, I
love Fred
love.
Durst so much, and
Yes.
I remember that's where I learned the middle
Excuse
finger
me. Oh, yes.
was
Mhm.
doing the bird, listening to listening to Limp Bizkit. I also like leaked into my love for wrestling, which
Mhm.
early 2000s wrestling. There's nothing better than Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, which
Yeah.
they were in the main event at WrestleMania 19, which was in Seattle at Seiko Field, which is now T-Mobile Park.
T-Mobile
But
Park.
it's the same thing of like, this is so interconnected to like all the things that we were. And I
Mhm.
remember standing on the coffee table listening to like Eiffel 65, Limp
Yeah,
Biscuit.
Blue. Yes. I loved it.
Like there was just something so millennial about it that but I do have to tell you. Linkin Park.
Yes.
I loved Linkin Park. Linkin Park, like my younger brother Paul really loved Linkin Park. So of course I listened to Linkin Park. And my English teacher, Miss Nording, she made us sit there and we couldn't leave class until we wrote a poem, like a long form poem.
Oh no.
So I just wrote the lyrics to In the End by Linkin Park.
And did you get caught?
No, because it's a Christian school. And she's like, these are very deep. This is very deep. This is a little bit disturbing. I think we need to have a meeting about this.
You're like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I just wanted to
in
leave
the end,
class.
it all fall apart,
That's so funny.
And she's like, I think we need to talk about like possible depression, maybe some suicidal ideation. And I was like, how about I confess?
That's so funny.
But
I was gonna say, I wanted to say, so I wanted to gather some. It's funny you brought up like Limp Bizkit, because I was putting together a list. Like I have put together a list of songs that are like the best songs of the 2000s and stuff, according to like Billboard charts and sales and all that stuff.
Ooh.
But I was laughing because I looked up what were some of like the hits or misses of the early 2000s. The top one for rock and new metal was "Rollin'" by Limp Bizkit. And I was like, I love that song.
AKA the entrance theme for The Undertaker. When he was the badass American Badass. He came out on the vroom, 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 vroom.
I love that song so much. And so when I saw that, I was like, wait. But it just basically said that it was just like a guilty pleasure for some people, or like a full on, what did it say? A sonic crime for others. And I was like, a sonic crime? Who can hate this song? It's so good. And that may be like a hot take, but like there's just but I will say that one of the other ones on here is like Puddle of Mud.
Oh,
She hates me, like
she hates me.
Yeah. Na 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 na. Yeah. And that song will just like be stuck there for days. What were some other ones? Oh, this one will probably give you a good chuckle. A cringy rap and pop crossover was Brooke Hogan's About Us. Featuring Paul Wall.
Oh my God.
I loved it.
I wish we could play this right now, because honestly, did you watch Hogan Knows Best?
No.
Okay.
But I've seen this music video and I was like, what?
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 Knowing that $1 million went into that video.
No, absolutely not. But to be fair, the other ones that are on that list are Paris Hilton's Stars Are Blind, and then Kevin Federline. And I mean, I guess the other one that's on the new metal one was Crazy Town's Butterfly. But like, let's be real. I really liked that song.
I really liked that song too.
I really liked it.
I'm gonna show you something that is very millennial, but also kind of offensive.
Oh, all right. Trigger warning, I guess, for anybody that might be offended, but I won't be.
So, this is peak millennial time. This is 2008. My girlfriend at the time, not girlfriend, but girlfriend,
yes,
was Britney Spears for Halloween, and I Kevin Federline.
You were just trying a drag king style.
I want to know, who is this? Who is this? I'm so sorry for audio people. This is.
Did you do cornrow braids?
So that is when I was living in New York. There was a girl down the hall who did people's hair, and she did it for like $50. And I said, I will give you $50 if you cornrow my hair.
All right.
It was a facelift experience.
Yeah.
No, I never had my hair braided that tightly before. And honestly, it was such a vibe. It was such a vibe. Except I felt like my scalp was lifting off of my head. But
no, thank you.
I went in, for Halloween as Kevin Federline, and
I love that for you.
There was a guy that was like interested in me, and he did not speak to me at all during that entire night. He said it was too weird.
Yeah. I can. Yeah.
I make a really cute dude, like a really cute guy that like is very tenderhearted and everything. It's too bad that I got these giant honkadoodles over here. I can't get rid of those. Oh my God.
Like, try and like squish them down a little bit, see what happens.
I don't think so. But yeah, Kevin Federline in his failed music career.
Trash.
That's also a thing. It's like, I think that's kind of lost in our world, is like people's failed music careers, going from being this person's dancer to music career, an heiress having a music career, Heidi Montag becoming a pop star. Like,
no, thank you.
It's just someone gave someone auto-tune. I mean, Brooke Hogan, for what it's worth, could dance. But the fact that she made a music video with Paul,
that was money. Like, yeah, that's what is that? I mean, like that's money. Like you couldn't just be like, hello, my name is Natalie, and I would like to do a music video with Paul Wall. Well, probably now I could be like, I would like to give you $100 to do a music video. But like, you think about like in today's day, like you call up and you're like, hello, Ben Gibbard, I would like to collab with you. He would be like, who are you? You crazy person, go away. Like,
I like that you said call, and I'm like, oh yeah, go in the DMs. I don't know. I would just be like on the phone going, but I mean, also
person.
Just thinking about how many of those teeny boppers, right? The teen stars, the Disney Channel stars became teen music sensations. Hilary Duff, by the way, newsflash, she got signed by Atlantic Records, and she's coming out with new music in 2025 or 2026 or whatever it is. Like,
I love that.
Hilary Duff. This is what dreams are made of.
I love that. I will forever love her terrible choreography in the early 2000s. Yeah. Yep. It was the worst. So terrible, but it's so iconic.
It really is iconic. I mean, it's lazyography or whatever, and then some people have said. but also like Lindsay Lohan, having the rise of Lindsay Lohan, especially in that music video in Freaky Friday when they did the pink slip, that the band, the fake band in Freaky Friday. And they went to the Battle of the Bands. Like that was such a big deal. Aaron Carter, like being the brother of Nick Carter. I know, R.I.P. Nick Carter. But just seeing like these people who were Disney Channel stars or Nickelodeon stars or even just like television stars becoming teen idols. Like,
yeah, I mean, what do we have? We have the Jonas Brothers. Those they are still touring and they have a movie coming out. Selena Gomez, she started out early. Demi Lovato.
Oh my gosh, love Demi Lovato.
Who else? If we're talking like, I mean, it's not early 2000s, but it's like later 2000s. You've got like Dove Cameron, Ariana Grande. Yeah, she's huge. But I mean, like Britney Spears came from that. Christina Aguilera came from that. Yeah. Surprisingly, Christina Aguilera did not pop up on any of my lists for top
songs.
Which
is so crazy. And here's the thing that I think that also is missed is the pitting women against each other, right?
Yeah.
There was the Britney Spears, or are you a Christina Aguilera fan? And if you were one fan, you couldn't be the other fan, especially with like boy bands too. Like you could not be a Backstreet Boys fan if you were an NSYNC fan.
Brandy and Monica.
Yeah. Who's to say why they were pit up against each other, even in the headlines being like
money.
Britney, Christina said about you on a red carpet, and she'd be like, who? What? She's such a nice girl. Like PR canned answers, but like, I mean, we saw that with Hilary Duff and Lindsay Lohan. I mean, it's never ended where women are being pitted against each other. And did you read Britney Spears' book by chance?
No, I think I started listening to it on audiobook. And like most things in my life, I stopped and forgot, and it just sat. But what I did listen to, it made me really mad. And that might have been why I stopped listening to it, because it made me really angry for this, like the shit that she had to go through. Like it just made me mad. So I was like, no friend.
Yeah. Britney's book, really made me like feel compassion for her, and knowing that like a lot of like the Britney versus Christina was fueled by people that are supposed to be having their best interest in mind and feeding these lies. And when Christina went, and had her dirty phase where she was getting piercings and wearing more revealing clothes. Yes, Britney was doing the same, but like, why was Christina more demonized? And then when the kiss happened, oh my God, we haven't even talked about the VMAs. Do you remember the kiss? The Madonna smooch.
And it was so controversial also back in the day. And I think it was more controversial at the fact that, one, they were the way that they were dressed, because if our listeners don't remember, Britney, they were singing with Madonna, and Britney was dressed in like this like white, they were both wearing essentially like lingerie.
Wedding dresses. Wedding lingerie dresses.
Wedding lingerie dresses, yeah. So, but like Britney was wearing like all white, and she looked angelic and like beautiful. And then they had Christina in all black, and she was wearing like racier stuff, and it was shorter, and it was just tighter, and like she just looked more like edgy, whereas Britney looked more angelic. And so, or she was like more of the devil, and Britney was like the angel.
I thought that they both were wearing
I thought she was wearing black
wedding dresses, and Madonna was in the now I want to look it up.
Now,
yeah. See, I remember.
Were they both wearing? Oh no. Oh yeah. Nope. They were both wearing white. I was wrong, but Christina's hair was black.
Yes, Christina's hair was black, and she was very.
That's what it was.
Ambiguous in the color of her skin. That was also the time when everyone was
tan,
getting a little bit too tan.
That's right. They were both wearing white, and they were wearing similar outfits, but Brittany was wearing a skirt and Christina was wearing like hot pants, like just shorty shorts. Sorry, I had to fact check myself, but Madonna was wearing black. That's right. I'm glad I fact checked that. But the kiss was so like that was 20 years ago. It was like the kiss that
what? It's a kiss that stopped everything. And I remember like Ashton Kutcher and P. Diddy in the crowd just being like, oh my God. Oh. Crazy. And they zoomed in on Justin Timberlake and he looked uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, the VMAs were such a thing back then. It was such a big event. Like, I remember that I'd be like, Mom, I need to watch the VMAs. And she'd be like, they're at 9 p.m. That's when my shows are on. And I would have to like try and figure out a way that I could watch the VMAs while she also still was watching, like, I don't know, whatever it was, CSI or Law and Order or whatever it was that she was watching at the time. And I was like, no, we need to watch the VMAs. And so then I would have to like either catch it after when they would like show it later.
But they would still edit things that were probably a little bit more promiscuous.
So I remember that those were amazing. And it's really, as an elder millennial, to watch VMAs now, like, it's kind of sad because like sometimes you have really great performances. Like, I like the revival of great performances, and Sabrina Carpenter is doing a really great
oh my gosh
act of reviving the performances. But most everything now is recorded beforehand and then played, and it's like pretend that it's live, but it's not. It's like a pre-recorded act. And that's just kind of a bummer because having a live performance in those type of scenarios made the show so much better, so much more exciting.
One of my favorite, besides for like the obvious of like Britney Spears, I'm a Slave for You with the snake. That's like one of the most iconic VMA moments. But one of the VMA moments that I was reminding others of, like, because they were like, oh my God, Sabrina Carpenter in the rain, that's never happened. And I'm like, no. That's happened a lot at the VMAs. But like one of my favorites was Kelly Clarkson, Since You've Been Gone. And she's out there and she has this platinum blonde hair. In what world is Kelly Clarkson a platinum blonde hair? But I digress.
Never.
But this was also in the era of like the super low rise, but it was also the like, I don't know, I call them dockers, like the kind of like pants, but they're cut off.
Yeah. She always wore like those like khaki like docker style. Yeah,
those khaki docker style, but she would always like cut them off so they're like, you know, the high water kind of style, always with a studded belt. She was wearing like a tank top. And it was like, she said in like interviews before, there was so much rain that she could not see 2 feet from her. It was just pouring. And what makes it so iconic is she went into the crowd while this is happening. So the crowd was also getting wet. And it was just like she was slipping, other people were slipping, and it was just...
That's so crazy.
It was like such an iconic moment. I think that was like while we were in high school, so it was like 2005 probably.
See, and I loved, so music wise, Kelly Clarkson, that one was a really great one. But my favorite was I think my most iconic was Lady Gaga.
Oh my gosh,
the Lady paparazzi. Gaga's paparazzi, her paparazzi performance was amazing. And that was during like that was during the same period where she did like the meat dress and like it was bloody. Like she did a lot of like, there was a lot of fake blood. Lady Gaga's career has always been so like, I don't even like, it's just, it's been so amazing because her creative team and like her creative mind blows me away. Like just the idea of everything that goes into what she does, like coming out in the egg and then having the meat dress. Yeah. Coming out what was there when Paparazzi came out and she was wearing that like C-3PO style suit, remember? She had, like the wheelchair and then she had like the prosthetic, like there's just so much that goes into it. The wigs that she does, the makeup that she does, like her costumery, like everything is so great. I find that like on a side note of that is that I have so much respect for her because I would be so exhausted.
Yeah.
Because you think about how much, like just on a normal day, like picking out an outfit, doing your makeup, styling your hair, like doing these things for yourself, but then I have to like do it for a conceptual idea of like a performance. No, exhausted. Done.
Things I've loved about Lady Gaga, everything that you mentioned, I think just seeing how her Mayhem Ball, what was three nights or whatever at Climate Pledge.
Yes.
But I love that concert culture now, besides for being way too expensive to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But people come dressed as them in some sort of era. And there are so many different eras of Lady Gaga that have been so iconic. The meat dress, the red lace that like covered her face when she was in the Bad Romance with the crown.
Yes.
Like just being so avant-garde and so ahead of her time that it is just beloved now, which like back when she first came out, like 2008, 2009, a lot of people are like, she's demon possessed. She's demon possessed.
Or Poker like, Face was so wonderful.
Lesbians.
Like, yes.
Or when people had deemed that she was transgender and then she's in an interview being like, so what's so bad about that? They're like, well, you have a penis. And she's like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
So iconic. Absolutely iconic.
I love her. I absolutely love her. And I'm not even gonna lie, her voice is iconic in every aspect of the, and as a person who cannot sing, I will fully admit, like I will sing, but I am not a singer. She made me believe that I could be a singer. I will pretend up and down that I can sing, and I will just keep going. It's like her and what's that? Lana Del Rey. Those two together like gave me hard delulu thinking that I was a singer and that like I could actually make it.
Yeah.
I could do this.
One of my first long-term relationships was culminated really by the Fame album and the Lana Del Rey, her first album, the American one or whatever, whatever that.
Yeah.
That first album that has it's blue. Oh my God. I can't even remember. Hold on. But I just listened to those as I went up and down the Garden State Parkway when I was dating this guy that lived like an hour away from me. I would listen to one album on the way home and one album on the way back, all the things. But what is that album called? If you are screaming it right now while you're listening, I am so sorry. I don't remember album titles, but I remember
so bad. Born to Die was what it is.
Yes, Born to Die. That is the one.
That was the one. That was the one that in the blue jeans.
Yes, I loved the blue jeans song. Yes. Okay, I sound like an
Summertime Sadness. That song.
I got the summertime sadness. Also in 2009, that same year that you had mentioned that Lady Gaga performed the paparazzi where she started bleeding on stage, was the same VMAs where Taylor Swift won Best Female Video for You Belong With Me. And who do you know comes up on stage is freaking Kanye West.
Kanye.
To
Get
say,
off
yo, Taylor.
the stage.
Yeah, yo, Taylor, I'm happy for you, but I'm going to let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time. And this girl, this poor girl, not even 20 years old, is just standing there. Just nothing, no words. Like how could that happen? And I remember that they had panned the camera over to Beyonce because she had just had the Single Ladies video or whatever.
Yeah.
And it became like such a overshadow of what the entire event was. And it was like, I remember like Barack Obama, the president of the United States, calling Kanye West a jackass.
Yeah. Kanye got so much bad rap for that because it was just so like, it was for everything that I guess you could say about that night. Like, as a person who like now feels like a lot of VMA stuff is a little bit rigged, Taylor Swift has done, and I'm not really a Swiftie. Like, I appreciate her as a musician and as a creator because she puts a lot of fucking work into her stuff. But like, she works so hard. So she deserves all of the credit due to her. And the fact that he is so delusional, even in that moment where he was, I feel like he was fairly sane then. Now is another conversation. But for him to get up and be like, Beyonce deserves this. Like, Beyonce's a great musician as well. And she's done a lot of hard work. But I think where that kind of gets lost is that, like, other people can win too. Like, not all the same people have to be winning all at the same time. Like, other people are due their praise. And I think that at that time, she had such a surgence of like herself, because that was during the same time too when like she was kind of transitioning from like the country music scene more into like pop music too.
Yeah,
and that's hard. Yeah. So I mean, that was such an iconic thing, and I was like, go away, like let her win. Like, it doesn't. They can all find their own like praise, but get out of here, Kanye. Yeah. Nobody asked you.
I mean, I also remember that, speaking of hating on pop music, there were bands like Blink-182, which I fucking love Blink-182. Yeah. But they made fun of boy bands to the point of like having cutout pictures of members of Backstreet Boys and like punching them in the middle of their sets, or like lighting them on fire, or like having a whole music video where they like make fun of.
Oh, I loved watching making of the video. Do you remember that?
God.
And it was the Blink-182 video, and they were making fun of Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
I love that.
So good. And that's the thing that I was talking with my husband about, is like, if you put 5 people or 3 people in all white, and like that's like Backstreet Boys. Like, that's like code for Backstreet Boys. Yeah. And Backstreet Boys were doing recently some shows at the Sphere in Vegas, which is like, that's insane. Like, insane. Yeah. But
I actually know somebody that's going to the show in February.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But the videos that I've seen online, it's like millennial core is cool again. Like, no one's making anything original. We're all just going back to the past. It's a cycle repeating. Yeah. It's very similar to.
Oh no, sorry. I was just gonna say, like, think about and it's not necessarily just like a music thing, but it's like movies too. Like, they're re-releasing all of the Twilight films in the theaters, so you can just go back and watch that. You can do the same. We may or may not have watched that last night, like Breaking Dawn Part 2, like the part.
Listen.
Sorry if no one's seen it before, but it's 20 years old. Like, let's just be real. Or 10 years. I don't know. Anyways, we watched the end part where like the fake fight happens. Every time I'm like this.
Yeah,
like,
when Carlisle gets
his head
ripped out. Yeah.
Yes, every time that they show that like really bad prosthetic face, that I can't.
I'm like, baby, I can't.
I'm just sitting.
So bad. It's so good.
It's so bad. I literally sit there and I know exactly what's gonna happen, but I'm like, no, Carlisle, no, like such a crazy person. Anyways, but I mean, like, they're resurfacing, they're redoing Twilight films back in the theaters. They're doing the same thing for like the Harry Potter franchise, bringing it back to the theaters. Most everything they're just recycling, and like on top of the Harry Potter thing, like they're remaking the entire series to be on HBO. Like they're also re-releasing all. I try not to follow a lot of Harry Potter content, but it just follows me like a ghost.
Yeah, it follows me.
So Harry Potter, they're also redoing all of the books. And I have a very strict policy of I will not spend any more money going to that person. But now I'm like, all of these actors that I really love are doing the audio for this audiobook. I'm gonna have to pirate this somewhere. But
speaking
that
of
takes
pirating,
us kind of back. Speaking of pirating,
do you remember Napster, LimeWire?
I was a LimeWire girly.
Ooh.
LimeWire girly, which probably ruined many a computer.
For those who don't know, who are listening and have no idea what Napster or LimeWire is, it's how we made our mix CDs, right? It's how we got music. So Napster and LimeWire are both a peer-to-peer file sharing application. You downloaded it from your internet browser, where you had to either use your landline or you had a second. Those were the rich people that had the second landline.
We did not.
I did not. So by the way, when you had to connect to the internet, no one could call.
No
one could call.
It was loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could really go on for days.
We could. But these file sharing applications are mostly how we downloaded our music, right? There really wasn't an iTunes really back then. I mean, kind of iTunes. But these websites went through loopholes in laws to make this accessible for as many people as possible. The audio was shared typically in MP3, started with MP4 when you would download like music videos. And as the software became popular, different companies came up. But what also happened is a lot of legal difficulties came in over copyright infringement. And that's now where we get the, you wouldn't download a pizza, you wouldn't download a car, because it is now illegal to download copywritten protected stuff. Napster shut down in 2001, which is crazy, because I feel like it was around longer than it actually was. And they had to file for bankruptcy. When LimeWire collapsed after a U.S. federal court judge issued an injunction ordering LimeWire to prevent everything that they were doing. And they said, fuck y'all. And they had to settle for $105 million because all of these record labels were suing for like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And
it was
we're
crazy.
Just at home, just possibly downloading malware.
Viruses. So many viruses.
I just really wanted, albums and different recordings, and I would download. I mean, I was also really into like comedy specials back then, like SNL comedy specials. So I wanted to download all of these songs, all of these things. Some of them were not, like, the bit rate wasn't very good, but it would download in less than 5 minutes. And that was always my thing of like, if I could download it in less than 5 minutes, if the file size was smaller, so I could put it on my iPad or my iPod, because my iPod only had so many megabytes of storage.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have like 40 shitty songs than like 20 like mediums, like, or like high quality, because I wanted as much music as I could download at one time. It was just constantly being downloaded.
Well, and I think that like for any of our listeners that aren't in our era, this was before iTunes. This was before like Pandora, like rest in peace, Pandora. But it was before Spotify. It was before like I don't right? It might be, but I don't know. It was before like Spotify, or it was before like any of that stuff. Like you had to download, if you didn't buy the physical CD and then burn that CD onto your desktop and then burn it onto a new CD to like share with your friends. Like this was how we had to get our music. And I just remember that like I had a very like, my parents were really specific on how we used our computer. And so I think one time I had tried to like burn a CD, and I think my dad was like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And I just remember that like we had so many. Do you remember like the pop-ups, like the bars?
Yes,
the pop-up bars, because it was like LimeWire specifically was like, "Oh yeah, install the toolbar and it'll make things so much easier." And then the toolbar essentially like had some crazy malware in it, and then you would get like some crazy pop-ups and things would be a little bit like messy.
XXX, like meet these women here, and they'd be always like porn things. I would always get in trouble. I'm like, I don't know where they came from.
Yeah, I literally just wanted to download this album. I just wanted to listen to some music.
Album. Yeah,
I just wanted some music, and that was it. Like that was it. But I mean, this was before you could really like get music online. Like I don't want to say freely, because for a really long time you still had to pay for like iTunes, when you could really only download stuff from iTunes, where you just couldn't get, like, unless you had the physical out like CD, you didn't really have a lot of options. I had a friend, and I remember that like she always had a lot of access to online, which was, it was the time.
The time
of some
internet
crazy
chat rooms,
internet. But her, like, she always had a lot of access to that kind of stuff, and she would make some of the like the craziest and coolest mix CDs at the time. And she would like write out every single song and like decorate like the front of the CD disc. And I was just like, man. And I remember she, in her car, she had like the fold down. Well, I mean, everybody has one, like the visor, but she had like the CD holder with like, it was just like jam packed with CDs, and would be like, what mix are we listening today? Is it going to be the summer mix? Is it going to be the alt mix? And I have to give her credit, because there's a lot of groups that she like introduced me to that I didn't know, because of the crowd that she hung out with. Like they always had really interesting music. And so I mean, like that was kind of like our era, because I mean, we started with cassettes, like mixtape cassettes.
Right. I had a specific system when it was cassette tapes, right? So I would have my boombox, and then I had my cassette tape thing, which was like it was also how my parents rewound our our voicemail. What is the answering machine? So they
Yeah,
would
yeah.
use my machine to like rewind the tape so that they could reuse the tape over and over again, which is
Yeah.
crazy that like that all went digital. Anyways, but I would have the system and I knew exactly where to point the thing to record so that you wouldn't get a lot of feedback. So I could
Yeah,
record
yeah.
songs off the radio. And I always hated when the DJs would talk over the music. And I'm like, shut up. I want to hear the intro to Crazy Town. Come on. Rude.
I always loved like the for me when I would do those or when we would listen because we listened to them on the bus. And it would
Yeah.
be such a hard shift. Like sometimes
Mhm.
if the bus driver was like being cool, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll listen to your tape." And it would just be such a hard shift. It would be like cha-chunk, and then it would be one song immediately to the other. Like
Yeah.
there's no like fade. It was just like you were listening to Peaches and Cream, and then you were
Oh
listening to
my gosh.
Butterfly. You know,
Yes.
like it just went like kaboom, and you were there. It was so crazy. But yeah, I loved a mix CD, and I think now that's kind of like reflected in my Spotify, like the way that I listen to music now is that listening to an album is great, but I love the variety of a good playlist.
And
I will
that
always love a good playlist.
does go into the whole mix CDs and having a lot of mixed CDs and making the album art and then writing your own titles. But also sharing. That's also how we shared music. You didn't just share a playlist or whatever. It was like, hey, I made you a playlist of, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would write, whoever. Well, I went by Colleen back then, so it'd be like Colleen's Mix or Colimo, which when I was into emo music, Colimo Mix 1, Colimo Mix 2, Colimo Mix 3.
I love that.
And that's just how everything kind of culminated. That's how we shared music with each other. We burned it onto our, computers. We imported, we exported. We could do all of that simultaneously. I also went to the library. I was also remembering this just now. I went to the library to check out CDs so that I could burn them onto my computer and then I'd return them because computer access.
That's what Yeah. I remember, and I don't know if this ever happened to you, but I had a boyfriend like burn me CDs, and he would be like, "This is all the songs that I listen to, or these are all the songs that make me think of you." And as like,
yeah,
one of them included. And I can, even to this day, like, I don't remember all the songs that were on it, but there was one song, and I, to this day, cannot listen to it because it makes me think of this specific, like, CD. But it's that one Big Sean song, "You're way too beautiful, girl." Yeah, that song.
Yeah.
To this day, if I'm listening to a playlist and it just, like, happens to find its way back to me, I'm like, skip. I will not skip.
Okay,
Done.
so
skip.
What I always loved is learning how to use the microphone and be like, I'm making this mix for you. So don't you dare try to say that somebody else wrote, like making basically a track to go in. And I loved personalizing it. And I remember somebody trying to take credit for it. They were like, oh, that's my mix. And I was like, no. What's track 1? Listen to track 1 on this.
Yeah.
Because it's mine.
This is my song.
Yeah, but speaking of compilations, the compilation of compilations, we mentioned it last week. Now that's what I would call music. No. The first one that came out was in 1998. So remember, iTunes, right? iTunes wasn't created until the end of 2001. Spotify didn't come out until 2006. I mean, it did originate in the UK, but for us, this was like getting a mixed CD from the record labels, right? So this was not personalized to us, but this was really like, this is the music that encapsulated this specific year.
Mm-hmm.
How many now That's What I Call Music CDs did you have?
Oh my gosh. I think I had at least 10.
I think I had from the first one
Maybe
in 98
16.
through, probably almost 2016, because I used to buy them every single time that they came out.
Yeah. I think for a while I really loved them, and then I just kind of I went through periods where I kind of would get burnt out on like radio music, and I think that's kind of where like I got more into like my emo music, cuz I thought that like it made me edgy, and I wanted to be like edgy and kind of cool. And so I kind of dropped like a lot of my pop music side of things. But yeah, I loved the idea. And even now, I think to this day, we looked at one in the store and it was like 100. I think it's up to 100 now, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's crazy that they're still going. Like like they're not ending. So the highest selling one, by the way, is Now That's What I Call Music 5. Came out November of 2000. It went 4 times platinum, which platinum, right, was like just a million copies or whatever in a certain amount of time. So here are some of the tracks on this. Okay. It's Gonna Be Me, In Sync, which everybody knows. Okay. Give Me Just One Night, Una Noche, by 98 Degrees, which they're trying to also make a comeback, which is a little bit painful. Yeah, no. Jumpin' by The Destiny's Child.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
Yes. Jumpin'. Yeah. This is what I'm not as familiar with. Candy, who was Candy Burris, by the way, known of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't Think I'm Not.
I don't remember that song.
I don't remember that song at all.
No.
I Think I'm in Love with You, Jessica Simpson, which is also a one thing that I'm in you. Then you have Aaron's Party on there by Aaron Carter. Case of the Ex, Maya. Lucky by Britney Spears.
Oh, that song was hard. Lucky.
I Want to Be, Want to Be With You, Mandy Moore. Doesn't Really Matter, Janet Jackson. BB Mac, Back Here.
That's a throwback.
That is a throwback. 3 Doors Down was on here with Kryptonite. Bon Jovi, It's My Life.
It's my life. It's now or never. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which made me think, while I was looking at all this, do you remember when U2's album was on everybody's phone?
Rude. Yes. And you just like woke up one morning and they put it on your phone.
Yeah, on your iTunes library, like whatever you had. So it was 2004, by the way, the U2 album that was added to everyone's iTunes library, because Apple partnered with the band, and there were no laws against this. That just one day you woke up and you had a brand new album, and it will not go away from my iTunes. I've tried to delete it and it comes back. It is like,
no, it just stays there forever, and you're like, please go away.
Yeah. But I just remember, though, that was like one day everybody just had a U2 album on their phone.
And it was really like, it was a big deal. Like everyone was like, where did this even come from? Why did Bono decide that he needed to share this with everyone?
The day that U2 gave away their album for free, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, I think there's a lot of music that I wish that we could go back to buying physical media. I love physical media. There was something so fun about removing the cellophane from a physical CD that you waited outside of IFI or FYE, whatever it was.
FYE. There was Sam Goody.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And then like some albums had like the Target specific. I mean, they still do this now. Of like,
no, they do. Yeah.
Version. I remember Shania Twain's album where she did the crossover. She had a pop one and she had a country one. And there was specific the green album and the blue album and the red album. You had to like one go to Walmart and then go to Target and then go to Sam Goody and then a different one at FYE. Like they were all different versions and they had like bonus tracks, and that was the only way to get the bonus tracks.
Yeah, that's actually a really big thing in like K-pop media is that they do multiple versions of the same album. Like they'll do like, this is the blue version, this is the like white version, this is the black version, like, and they'll break it up by color, or they'll title it like this is the hip, like this is the hip version, this is the hop version, this is the ceremony version, and it'll all be different, and they'll have different photos on the inside. There'll be different
That's like so cool
inclusions. Like photo cards are a really big thing within like K-pop music. So you get different like photo cards of the members, you get different like posters. There's like a ton of different stuff, but they still do like Target exclusive, Walmart exclusive, online like pre-order benefits. Like buying physical media, I'm very like, I think that's what kind of draws me to that realm, is because it is so, I mean, it's a pain in the ass, trust me. But I think that's why like it's so nostalgic to me to be able to have like that physical media and like be able to get it. Music is such a big thing, but yeah, I'm really curious. Like, I wonder if our listeners could send in, or like they could comment or send us an email of like their favorite music, like what they listen to, stuff that, we didn't cover, like genres we didn't cover or groups we didn't cover. But yeah, no, I love music so much.
You can all send that all to peak millennials with an S pod at gmail.com. I should probably put it on the background.
Yeah.
Let me do that for next time. But we don't have time for stories this week, but we'll come back to them. That'll give you enough time to send us an email. We'll go looking for things. But I feel like we're not done.
No.
If you're ready and willing, I think we should do another episode like this soon.
I love it. Yeah.
Natalie, tell us where we can find you in the stratosphere called the internet.
So we will post some very unique playlists that we found.
Oh yes, our playlists
that are millennial music playlists on, like, I'm very comfortable. I use Spotify most often, so they'll be linked over to Spotify, which you can also listen to us on Spotify. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and I think I'm on Lemonade. Those are, I don't really use it, so let's not. I'm like, you can find me, but I don't post. And then I'm building my Substack. I just haven't really gotten there yet. But you can find me Instagram mostly and TikTok, Natalie Christina. And what about you? Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me anywhere there is a social media _queer auntie. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on X for the meantime. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Substack. And I'm just over here having a good time. So we will post all of our playlists. I'll have a playlist. You'll have a couple playlists. But I love the topic of music, and I think that we should keep this conversation going. Again, peakmillennialspod at gmail.com. Let's have a conversation. Go follow us on Instagram. We have a new Instagram. We want to interact with you. We want to make this an interactive podcast as well.
Yes, please.
So let's get nostalgia, shall we?
I love it. I love it.
All right.
Bye, guys. Or people, not guys. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, people, not guys.
People, not guys. People.
All right,
Bye, people.
bye, y'all.